Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending upon where you live around the world. Here we can see clearly I've moved along in the hub design somewhat, but you may be surprised that I'm going to any effort whatsoever for a hub design I may not actually use, and I anticipate not using this design. So why am I going to the effort and time of doing this? Well, a sidestep. I've just watched a movie review, and within it there was a point made that I totally agree with, and it pertains to the Dome project. The movie was called In Our Prime. It was a 2022 movie, and it's a South Korean movie about mathematics, or as a central theme within the storyline. And we'll call him a genius, was trying to convey the process to a young student of why it's important to know about the process, just not the outcome or the answer. And I agree. I've said this to my students in my sporting endeavours. If you understand what I'm teaching you, then you can. That's yours. You can go away and use it in whichever way you choose. But if you rely on me for guidance or insight, you will always be left wanting in the end when something you are unaware of crops up, or untrained in, or I haven't covered crops up. Ditto with the Dome, and the more I look at it, the more I enjoy doing these, because it's a bit like it's the equivalent of my like Sudoku for some people. My puzzlement about how to achieve the end result means I have to understand the geometry and process much better. You've heard me talk about, and I think this is where it benefits those that are watching that can persevere through the videos, you're understanding the process better, even though we haven't yet come to a final conclusion. Well, I have. I think I will be using a solid hub. It's probably the simplest method. But to get there, could I just sidestep all these altogether? Yes. But that would eliminate me understanding better the process, because should I want to do something else, and I were only to use the simplest hub approach, which I think I may go with, I've weakened my overall view of what can be done. Sorry for, again, the vagueness, but much of this is new to me, and to explain it in a way that's at least semi-clear has me stumbling about. In this arrangement, I've taken the struts directly from a dome drawing, a correctly drawn dome with all the struts assembled, and moved them to the point where it allows a ring to be inserted, this top brown ring, terracotta-y brown, and see where the tabs land on it. I'd always said that the struts are relative to each other at different heights, because the further away you go from the center, the greater the discrepancies and increasing amount of discrepancies occur, which was a surprise to me. And it's only the very top surface. We drew a line through the surface here and here. That's it's a physical, but it's a theoretical position where when it comes to the center, they all meet up. but the theoretical centre line is not what we've got in a real world strut or dome situation. Surprise to me. So I thought, well, can we have this design, and what would the differences be? Well, it's about 4 or 5 millimeters here, or 5 and 6 millimeters. It's not a great deal. These two and these two, so these mustardy coloured tabs and these purple tabs could effectively be treated as in the same level with only 1 millimeter difference. So we could use a common spacer for these four, whereas these ones fix directly to the center ring, this ring. That means that these surfaces remain in very, very close tolerance to the perfect position. We could just lower these tabs, the 5 mil or so, and I still don't think there'd be much of a drama, but because of my approach, I want to keep them as theoretically close to correct as possible. Why? Well, rigid cladding. A 5 millimeter discrepancy between adjacent struts can cause problems as you're starting to you'll distort the rigid cladding. Now, most of the cladding we'd be considering, such as plywood or polycarbonate, would be able to flex through that a little bit of discrepancy. So we're catering for a lot of issues through a little project that I may not even follow, or won't be following. But when we come to use the solid central hub, is it conceivable that I'll find something that is necessary to have learned to go forward well? And I think yes is the answer to that. It may well be by modelling this, that when we come to do the central hub, we will have a better perspective of what we can and can't do, or should or shouldn't do, because of this process, and hence why I took from that movie In Our Prime that getting a better understanding allows us to proceed with confidence. So sorry, I shouldn't need to apologise, but I do, because I know that my explaining these things on the fly means I'm stumbling around effectively in the dark to try and cover those thoughts. But I truly do believe that persevering with a process, as you may have to persevere with mine and listen to the videos, will pay dividends, because you will take away from it a greater understanding of what you're going to be doing on a related project. You may not want to use my grid-based dome. You may wish to use a more conventional dome approach, but taking away the lessons found within my research of this model, you can apply it to yours. So, end result achieved. Okay, I am waffling a little bit, and I will end this video and perhaps title it something epiphany or some such. It's an understanding. Anyway, okay. Deep sigh. I'll see you again in the next video. Okay, bye.